I honestly think everybody watching NXT tonight, uttered the same exact thing that I said when I watched the main event. I quote myself, "Was that so hard?" End quote. Was that so hard, Mr. McMahon? Or main roster, goons, creative, Raw, SmackDown. Was that so hard? Don't understand why a guy like Tyler Breeze, underutilized, downright buried, looks like shit on the main roster, shows up at Full Sail University on one night to challenge for the North American Championship, and in 12 minutes looked better than he has all year on Monday Night Raw. I don't get it. I really don't get it, but this is the difference between main roster and NXT. You die on one and you thrive on the other. Tonight, Ricochet, open challenge, North American title. The answered challenge. Out comes Tyler Breeze. We're going to talk about it today right here on the NXT podcast, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me this evening for NXT. If you guys missed Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, both videos are live on the channel right now. Go to the top right corner in this very video. In the annotations, you'll see a little drop down. They'll be right there if you guys missed any of that stuff. What I have coming up this week, man, I got a lot of cool stuff coming up this week. We got a Call of Duty Black Ops 4 premiere where we document the new specialist, Zero, play as Zero for about an hour and a half, so that's coming tomorrow, so look forward to that on the channel around 4 p.m. Friday, obviously, we got off the script. We're going to talk about major WrestleMania news coming out of the Barn Burners Fired Up podcast. Major WrestleMania news. Matches right now penciled in for WrestleMania and my thoughts on that. Plus, Monday Night Raw and the declining ratings again 5 times this year. They have beat their own worst record as far as ratings go for Monday Night Raw. We talk about that as well. Saturday and Off the Script, we're going to do preview and predictions for the TLC pay-per-view this coming Sunday. And then Sunday itself, obviously, the TLC review right here on the channel. That's what you guys got to look forward to this week. So don't go anywhere, man. Lots of stuff coming up. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, man, please do so at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Give that bell the middle finger, man. But if the notifications on YouTube are not working, Twitter is always a great backup, man. Everything that I upload gets immediately pushed to Twitter, so you guys are notified if you're following me on Twitter. Oh, look, JD uploaded a new video. There you go, man. Twitter is useful. It is the #1 hub if you guys want to find out what I'm thinking during shows like Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and then, of course, the pay-per-views this coming Sunday with TLC. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Make sure you guys go and pledge to the podcast if you want to support a little bit extra, man. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And I got to thank everybody for the JD Club t-shirt, man. Off and running for a second campaign. Bonfire opened it up again for you guys. You have another 7 days to go get your t-shirt. Make sure you do it, man. After the 7 days, it's over. They're not doing it again. I've already been notified. This is the last chance to get the JD Club t-shirt before it is gone completely, man. We sold 75, and then the second go-around, we've sold already 10 in the second campaign, man. Let's get that motherfucker over 100 sales for Bonfire.com, man. JD Club, Holiday 2018 JD Club t-shirt now available for $22.99. Black, gunmetal, blue, pink, and red. Go get yours today. Link will be in the annotation, or not the annotation, but the comment section, rather. The comment section down below, pinned at the very top, so you guys know where to go if you want to support via the t-shirt, man. Thank you guys so very much for all your support on that. Let's talk NXT, man. NXT tonight started off with something that I love seeing, the Undisputed Era. They are in the ring. Cole, you got Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong. They are in the ring, and they open the show, microphone in hand, and when Adam Cole speaks, man, you are going to listen to what Adam Cole has to say. Cole on the mic says the holidays are coming early, after Bobby Fish destroys EC3. Adam Cole says EC3 made the mistake of messing with the Undisputed Era, and they go over what happened and the fact that Bobby Fish laid out EC3 with a steel chair, kayfabe knee injury, but EC3 was really out with concussions. So he had suffered a concussion, and WWE played it into the storyline that he was out with a knee injury, courtesy of Bobby Fish. Adam Cole then goes on to say one specific, interesting, newsworthy note here. Adam Cole says that their world revolves, or NXT's world revolves around Undisputed Era, and NXT TakeOver shows revolve around them. Cole made a promise that in 2019, that the Undisputed Era will be dripping in gold. Now, I made a prediction weeks ago that I could see Adam Cole being the next in line for the NXT Championship come WrestleMania season or after WrestleMania season. I think that's when Johnny Gargano wins the NXT title from Tommaso Ciampa after all this stuff is wrapped up with him in Black and then him and Ciampa. That's where it's going to be leading. So we didn't get the match, the triple threat match with Black, Gargano, and Ciampa at SummerSlam weekend during NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, but we got another one-on-one match instead. They weren't going to give Gargano the championship there. They had to keep it on Ciampa. So now we are in a little lull, but this Aleister Black, who attacked Aleister Black storyline has really, really set up WWE for some very interesting and engaging television. And I love it. I thought it was one of the best storylines that WWE has done all year. But now Gargano's moment has been pushed all the way back to WrestleMania. That's where I envision this storyline is going. And when Johnny Gargano wins the NXT Championship, I could absolutely see Adam Cole being the number one guy to try and take down Johnny Gargano. That's the way I see it. But he says Undisputed Era will be dripping in gold in 2019. I could see Adam Cole with the world title. I could see Roddy with the North American Championship. I could see Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish as tag team champions. This is not something that he just said just to, make himself sound cool. This is something that I foresee happening. And the longer NXT holds on to Undisputed Era, the better for Undisputed Era. So you better get gold on Undisputed Era, because if they have all the gold, then that doesn't mean Vince can't pluck anybody from NXT. That's the way I see it. We don't want them going to Raw or SmackDown. God forbid. If Monday Night Raw had the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish would be in Titus Catering, and Kyle O'Reilly will probably be dancing with the fucking New Day on SmackDown Live, and Adam Cole will probably be jobbing to, I don't know, fucking Kurt Hawkins on Monday Night Raw. We don't need that shit. Okay, leave them in NXT where they belong. They are all young. Bobby Fish is not really young, but still, they are much better off in NXT. This led to EC3 coming out. EC3 comes out. He has a one-on-one match with Bobby Fish, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly in Bobby Fish's corner. I don't know what it is with EC3, man. I am honestly zoned out when EC3 is on screen. I'm zoned out when EC3 is wrestling. I don't find anything interesting about EC3. I don't know if it's him, or I don't know if it's the way he's being portrayed on NXT television. I don't see, and I mentioned this in the past in passing, I don't see EC3 factoring into anything on NXT television. In fact, if they want to bring him up to the main roster and put him in the Royal Rumble, so be it. He's probably one of those guys that you're going to plug from NXT, and you're going to put him on the main roster, and he's probably going to have a successful career, more so on the main roster, because he has that body type that Vince McMahon likes. He has charisma that I'm sure will probably get over on the main roster more so than NXT. NXT is so packed with indie talent right now that EC3 is getting drowned out by everybody. And the fact that he's a babyface doesn't really interest me at all. When I look at EC3, I see him as a heel. I don't see him as a babyface. He has that natural heel face. He has that natural heel look. He has that natural heel vibe. I don't know why they portrayed him as a babyface here. It's doing nothing for him. But the most telling fact is there's so much indie talent right now coming on up through NXT that everybody else that comes on in is pushing EC3 further down the line. So there's nothing for EC3 in NXT right now. He ain't going to factor into a North American Championship. He's not going to factor into a main event with Aleister Black there and Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, then Adam Cole, and then obviously Ricochet, Matt Riddle. He ain't going anywhere. So the best bet for EC3 is to be pulled from NXT and put in the Royal Rumble. Maybe he could factor a main roster run into this equation and turn out like Elias did. A lot of people didn't like Elias in NXT. People love Elias now. I don't know anybody who doesn't like Elias. All I know is that people think that WWE could be utilizing Elias a little bit better, but he may end up like an Elias, find more success on Raw or SmackDown instead of NXT. This match really didn't do anything for me, but there was a scary situation in this match. I don't know what the fuck happened, but Bobby Fish went into the top rope off an Irish whip, and I don't know if he got lost or if it was a velocity-like issue or if it was just natural ring rust because he hasn't been in the ring for the majority of this year. But he went into the top rope, and I swear to God, man, his neck got caught up in the top rope, and then he fell backwards. I thought he was completely out of it for about a good minute or two. It was a scary, scary situation, man. I don't know what the hell happened there, but I would have to go back and watch it again to see exactly what happened. It looked like EC3 hit a big clothesline. Both of them went out to the floor. EC3 hopped back into the ring. Fish looked dazed. And EC3 starts punching Fish with some right hands and then some knife edge chops. Strong and O'Reilly come in with distractions. Fish hits a chop block. This is when he regained his composure. But that top rope, he got hung up on the top rope, man. It looked completely fucking scary. Fish then comes. He had to be dazed at this point. I think it was just... I honestly think it was just like, him just swimming around, just dazed, and him just doing what he had to do to get by through the rest of this match. He did a chop block, which at that point, I don't even know if he realized what he was doing. Fish came back with multiple punches to the head and to the midsection. Dragon screw leg whip. EC3 recovered. Body slam, elbow drop. Strong and O'Reilly then hop up on the apron. EC3 knocks both to the floor. Fish gets in another chop block, but EC3 quickly rolls that up with a 1-2-3, and EC3 wins via pinfall, pins Bobby Fish. Post-match, Undisputed Era jumps in the ring and attacks EC3. This is where the best part of the match came in. Heavy Machinery came in and saved the day, clearing out the ring, saving EC3 from a 4-on-1 beatdown. O'Reilly did not make it out of the ring. He was begging the Undisputed Era to help him out of the ring. He was not so lucky. EC3 hits the 1%er on O'Reilly. Otis then hits the worm and the elbow drop on Kyle O'Reilly. Undisputed Era made mention of Heavy Machinery last week, saying that they may be undefeated for 6 months in NXT, but everybody that goes up against them is eventually going to lose. Heavy Machinery have staked claim at the Tag Team Championships right now because you got Hanson and Rowe who are not really healthy to compete right now following War Games. So Heavy Machinery is going to be the next in line right now, just as a short-term thing to get through with the Undisputed Era until Heavy Machinery comes back, and then Heavy Machinery, the War Raiders rather, and the War Raiders are going to come back and win the Tag Team Championships. But Heavy Machinery is going to be that interim team. And it sucks to be Heavy Machinery because they're pretty much being used as placeholders until the War Raiders come back. But Heavy Machinery, in my eyes, I've grown to like them quite a bit on NXT. And I love Otis. I love Tucker Knight. I think they're a great tag team. And I would like to see more out of them, to be honest with you. They're a really, really good act. They're a fun act to watch. But in this instance, against the Undisputed Era, they're being used merely as an interim team until the War Raiders come back, which I'm assuming... with the War Raiders and the Undisputed Era, that's nowhere from being close to over. And during WrestleMania weekend, I honestly think it's going to be Undisputed and the War Raiders, where the War Raiders claim the Tag Team Championships in NXT. That's the way I see it. Dakota Kai and Io Shirai talk to the media about Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir. They mention the sneak attack, and they want them both in a tag team match next week. So NXT next week is looking like to be a can't-miss newsworthy show. Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano in a steel cage match. And then the debuts of Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir, man. A lot of eyes are going to be on both of those women, man. And the microscopes are going to be turned up to 10, watching how they perform next week against two women who know what they're doing. Could be a good match for all four, or could be a complete disaster. But from what I've heard, you got Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir. They have come along just as fast, if not quicker, than both Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. It's going to be interesting, man. Like I said, the microscope is going to be turned up to 10, monitoring both of those women, man. There's going to be so much nitpicking about Marina Shafir and Jessamyn Duke next week. It's going to be a very, very interesting week, to say the least, in NXT. We've seen the Mighty and their post-match attack on Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch when NXT filmed at San Jose right before TakeOver. They had a match, and the Mighty didn't take the loss very well to Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. They had the rematch tonight on NXT, man. Another one of these teams, and there's quite a few teams right now in NXT that I really don't care for. Or a lot of individuals in NXT that I really don't care for. We just got done talking about EC3. He ain't doing anything for me in EC3. Maybe a main roster move for him would do him better. The Mighty do absolutely nothing for me. They're talented as all hell, man. They could pull out some fucking damn good matches. But they got no character. And they're not doing anything for me at all right now. People are more invested in both Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. And I don't know why we're seeing teams like the Mighty and the Forgotten Sons. Meanwhile, we got the Street Profits, who exude more charisma than all four guys combined. The Street Profits are more over in NXT, and they're the Evolve Tag Team Champions. Why are we not seeing the Street Profits on NXT? I don't get why WWE, especially in NXT, is pushing the Mighty and the Forgotten Sons, man. The Forgotten Sons is another team. Yeah, they may look old school, they may give you that old school feel and that old school vibe, but they have absolutely zero charisma. That team is going nowhere fast. And the comparisons to Blake and Murphy, when Alexa Bliss managed Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy, that is the comparisons I'm getting. I'm not talking about the Buddy Murphy we're seeing right now on 205 Live, a guy who transformed his entire career. But Wesley Blake is in the Forgotten Sons, and it's right back to square one. Not engaging, not interesting. There's nothing about this team that makes you want to see them. I don't know what it's going to take, but a restart has already happened for guys like that. This is the end-all be-all for them. There's nowhere to go for a team like the Forgotten Sons. And if they keep on this pace, they will be forgotten. I couldn't care less than I do now about the Forgotten Sons. Same thing goes for the Mighty. The Mighty's a little bit better than the Forgotten Sons because they can actually, do more of my style in the ring. I think they're a better tag team overall than the Forgotten Sons. But both teams right now, not interesting whatsoever. Meanwhile, you got the Street Profits, who are Evolve Tag Team Champions, not on the show, who are probably the most popular team outside the Undisputed Era in the NXT Tag Team division. But if you build the NXT Tag Team division around who you got right now, you got the Undisputed Era, you got Heavy Machinery, who's great, you got the Street Profits, you got the War Raiders, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, you got Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss coming back soon. I really enjoyed that tag team. They had charisma. They actually look great together. I hope they get back to being a team when they come back to WWE television. We'll see what happens, man. But as far as the tag teams in NXT, there's a few expendable teams right now in the Forgotten Sons and the Mighty. The Mighty lose here. So Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch get their wins again over the Mighty. And it was a missile dropkick off the top turn. Listen, the Mighty's great. And they're a great tag team. There was a few good spots in this match, man. There was a cannonball senton off, I believe it was, who the fuck was it? It was Thorne jumping off his partner's back into one of the guys on the other team. And then they did a suplex powerbomb combination, which looked fucking great. The Mighty looked. They know what they're doing in the ring. It's just the fact that they got no fucking charisma. They got no direction. So, the suplex powerbomb combination on Lorcan. They cover Burch, kicks out. Burch and Lorcan sent into the corner. Lorcan is power slammed. Thorne leaps off Miller's back, like I mentioned, into a cannonball on Burch in the corner. The Mighty then try and win this with a double DDT on Lorcan, but Lorcan kicked out. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. The Mighty tried to win the match, but Lorcan got a double DDT on the Mighty, and they kicked out. Lorcan with some huge knife-edge chops, and I would not want to take a knife-edge chop from Oney Lorcan. They get just completely destroyed with knife-edge chops. Burch gets tagged in, nails a headbutt on Thorne, double team, high elevation DDT on Thorne, and you got Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch winning again over the Mighty 1, 2, 3, and that's pretty much it. That's going to end this feud. So Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch are slowly moving back up the ranks in NXT, man. I wouldn't mind them getting another title shot after what we've seen them do with the Undisputed Era. I'm all for it. I am all for another run between those four guys right there for the tag team championships. We go back to last week where we see the puppet master himself, Tommaso Ciampa, Aleister Black, and Johnny Gargano building towards the steel cage match. It is official. It is official. Johnny Gargano and Aleister Black in a steel cage match. I did not read the spoilers last week when I did the review. I mentioned that I would be surprised if this match happens because there really is no reason for another Johnny Gargano, Aleister Black match. Black absolved Gargano of his sins. I honestly thought that it was going to be a steel cage match between Ciampa and Black for the NXT Championship, and then Johnny Gargano would be the one to save the title for Ciampa. That's what I was thinking. But obviously it was the other way around. So it's Gargano and Black inside the steel cage, mixed with the Horsewomen getting their debut match against Shirai and Dakota Kai. Huge week next week for NXT. So we get that next week as well, and we're getting filled in on everything that happened. Aleister Black cut a promo on this show tonight, and I loved the vibe of the promo. Aleister Black was standing in a darkened room with nothing but white smoke emanating from behind him. He was first pictured backwards. All you seen was nothing but his coat with the spikes on it. You seen his back, and then he started to turn, and then you seen the side of his face, and then he finally faced the camera head on. And he's talking about how he tried to absolve Johnny of his sins at TakeOver, but this is going to be more than absolution. This is going to be total destruction. He's got to kill Johnny Gargano once and for all, and it's going to happen inside the steel cage, man. I absolutely love the promo, and it was something that I'm watching, and I'm thinking, man, Aleister Black, A, is a great promo, B, has a fantastic fucking look, and C, you just get the feel that when you watch certain guys in NXT, that their time is up, and Aleister Black's time is coming up very, very soon in NXT. He's going to be in Phoenix. He's going to be in that championship match with Ciampa, but I would not bet against him in the Royal Rumble. He's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I honestly think Aleister Black's going to make a huge dent in the Royal Rumble. And I mentioned on my Monday Night Raw review, there really is nobody on Raw that you could look at outside Seth Rollins that could really make an impact at WrestleMania in the main event. I'm not saying put Aleister Black against Brock Lesnar, but if there's any year, I think 2019 is the year to take a chance on an NXT talent in the Royal Rumble and have them win it in shock fashion. Aleister Black fits that mold absolutely perfectly. I honestly think Black is going to lose against Ciampa. It's going to be Gargano and Ciampa at WrestleMania weekend, and Black is going to be on the main roster. I think this is it for Aleister Black, and you just get that vibe from watching the promo that he had tonight mentioning Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano responded to this outside, and he talked about the upcoming match. Gargano is still saying he never did anything wrong, and the ends justify the means, which is him becoming NXT champion. He says Black is just getting in his way, his path. Gargano will do what he needs to do to make sure the story ends the right way. And the story to him ending the right way is beating Ciampa for the NXT Championship. So Johnny is going to be watching this like a hawk. When Black gets his hands on Ciampa, Gargano is going to be there watching like a fucking sniper on a rooftop. Believe me. Yet another important aspect of next week's show, man. Dominik Dijakovic will be having his debut next week on NXT. So we get to see a full-fledged debut for Dijakovic on NXT, the former Dominik Dijak from Ring of Honor. I can't fucking talk tonight. I don't know what it is. Kathy Kelly talks to Shayna Baszler, and she is with Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke. They are talking about the number one contender Fatal 4-Way that's happening in 2 weeks. Now, we have Bianca Belair, who's already qualified for this because she's undefeated. She didn't have to fight. She beat Deonna Purrazzo. So she advanced by beating Deonna Purrazzo at a house show. Now, if it was up to me, I just would have put her in there because she's undefeated. I mean, she earns a shot. She earned the shot. So we got Bianca Belair. We have Lacey Evans, who won a match against Xia Li at a recent house show. So she's now involved. And Mia Yim is going to try and advance here to the Fatal 4-Way with a match tonight as well against Reina Gonzalez from the Mae Young Classic. Shayna Baszler isn't worried, no matter who it is. And then Kathy Kelly asks the horsewomen, Duke and Shafir, about the challenge from Dakota Kai and Io Shirai. They just left, and that was it. But Shayna Baszler is great, man. She's not worried about anything. Why am I going to be worried about a Fatal 4-Way? The women in this Fatal 4-Way should be worried about what's to happen when they face me. They ain't going to be leaving with the NXT Championship. Shayna Baszler says the only thing that they'll be leaving with is a hospital bill. I love Shayna Baszler. I really do. Can't wait to see what happens, man. But if NXT is the one promotion that does things right, then we kind of can assume Bianca Belair is going to remain undefeated. Mia Yim versus Reina Gonzalez. This nearly put me to sleep. I don't know how you can't have a good match with Mia Yim, but Reina Gonzalez didn't interest me in the Mae Young Classic the 2 years that she was in there, and she didn't interest me here tonight at Full Sail University. So what do we surmise from this? Reina Gonzalez is fucking boring. She does nothing for me. Yim was in bear hugs, and Reina Gonzalez tried to throw her weight around until the end of the match when Mia Yim got a bunch of chops in, a big knee to the face, kick to the head, and then the soul food, eat defeat for the 1-2-3. Mia Yim covers, and she advances to the Fatal 4-Way to join Lacey Evans and Bianca Belair. We have the main event of Ricochet and Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze came out to a resounding ovation. I mentioned this in the beginning of the show. WWE is underutilized and just let years go by without using someone as talented as Tyler Breeze, man. It took NXT 12 minutes to give me the old Tyler Breeze back. And it took NXT 12 minutes to present Tyler Breeze in a way in which Monday Night Raw has not done all year. I don't like the team of Breeze and Fandango, and I'm a fan of both guys. I wanted to be a team, and I wanted them to be taken seriously as a threat in the tag team division, but WWE didn't see them anymore as sideshow comedy. And I don't like that. There is a place and time for comedy, yes, but guys as talented as that, you should be utilizing to fill holes on a desperate need for talent, especially on Monday Night Raw. Took WWE 12 minutes in NXT to give me the Tyler Breeze that we all want to see on the main roster. He looked great. He looks in shape. He looked happy to be there. He looked excited. He looked refreshed. This is what they want to do. No matter how many times people tell you on social media, yeah, well, Monday Night Raw is a very difficult show to write 3 hours every week, and, you know, it doesn't matter what you think. You guys are the fans. You're entitled infants. I'm collecting my paycheck, and I'm going to buy my 8th condo somewhere down in Miami. Blow me. I don't care about your 8 condos. And stop putting up the fucking defenses when the fans want to get into your mentions on social media and tell you exactly what needs to be said. Okay? We all know Tyler Breeze isn't happy on the main roster, and we all know WWE isn't utilizing Tyler Breeze to the best of his ability. So why did it take NXT 12 fucking minutes to give me what we've wanted and what's needed on the main roster? It's not that difficult as everybody's perceiving it to be, correct? Nothing frustrates me more than to watch guys like Tyler Breeze wasted away. Came out with the theme music, came out with the fuzzy boots, came out with the selfies. He did his little shtick on the top turnbuckle where he was just laying across the top turnbuckle. Yeah, look at me. I'm the shit. And a match against Ricochet. You knew this was going to be a great match just based on how great both guys are. Open challenge. It could have been anybody. I'm glad it was a guy like Tyler Breeze. I want to see more of this. I want to see more of guys from the main roster kind of go down into NXT. I'd love to see the Revival show up in NXT and challenge the Undisputed Era for a tag team title match. I would like to see guys from the main roster who are not being utilized just go down and reassert themselves. Triple H made mention of this. This is not the only time we're going to be seeing it, and he's opening the doors to have it happen more. Because he knows all the work that he's done on the NXT thing is not translating, I would say, to the main roster. And that's because there's thick-headed fucks up there. He's wasting his time. He feels like, I'm sure, he's wasting his time with guys like this who are thriving in NXT, and we all know it could be something on the main roster, but WWE refuses to do anything about it. I don't get it. I love this match. Honestly, I thought it could have went another... Listen, it could have went another 10 minutes. And I feel it needed more time. But I'm not going to complain with what we got, because what we got was great. I loved it. Ricochet and Tyler Breeze. Crowd pops big for a returning Breeze. Welcome back. I hope he stays. Crowd with a split chant. Tyler's gorgeous, and then Ricochet. So the two lock up. Breeze, hip toss, and then strikes a pose on the top turnbuckle. His Prince Pretty pose where he's draped across the top turnbuckle. Yeah, I'm the shit. I'm the shit as he's pushing his hair back. Love it. Ricochet smiles. Doesn't believe that this guy's here challenging for the North American Championship. So Ricochet dodges Breeze, launches him across the ring, hits his dropkick. Breeze takes a moment, exits the ring, separates himself from Ricochet. Back in the ring, Ricochet with a big lariat, looks to fly to the outside. Breeze moves out of the way. Ricochet looks for a crossbody off the apron, and Breeze hits him midair with a dropkick on the outside. So back in the ring, Breeze stomps away at Ricochet in the corner until the referee finally gets him to back off. Breeze puts his hands on the ref, who gets in his face, and Ricochet gets up on the top turnbuckle. Breeze heads up. He gets punched away. Huge knee lift by Ricochet. Dropkick, running back elbow. Ricochet then with a springboard uppercut and a standing shooting star press. Cover, only a 2 count. Morrow going crazy. Morrow claiming that Ricochet was in fuego. Love it. He was all over this match. Ricochet heads up to the top turnbuckle, looks for a Phoenix Splash, rolls through. Man, I always find it to be fucking mesmerizing when he gets the height that he does, rolls through with the Phoenix Splash, and then lands on his feet and then rolls through again as he hits the mat, man. There's just something about that I fucking love. Breeze hits him with a right hand, though. Back and forth, shots from both superstars. Double punches, double kicks, double clotheslines. Both block super kicks, and then they collide in the center of the ring. Fans give them a standing ovation. They continue to swing away on each other as they both get to their feet. Ricochet tries for a superplex. Breeze tries for a superplex. And they go back and forth trying to suplex each other in the middle of the ring until he hits a supermodel kick, does Tyler Breeze, and then a devastating reverse Hurricane Rana. Ricochet's head planted into the mat, only a 2 count. So Ricochet says this is his house now. Kicks out. Breeze with a kick to the midsection. Ricochet with a big kick to the face. Jumping knee by Breeze, followed by an Enziguri. He goes for the beauty shot, does Tyler Breeze. Caught in midair, and he does Ricochet. He does a, looks like a Michinoku driver or a cross-legged Michinoku driver. Plants Breeze into the mat, head first rather. 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Ricochet wins via pinfall in a great main event for the North American Championship. Post-match, Ricochet celebrating in the ring. Tyler Breeze gets up, handshake of respect in the middle of the ring. Ricochet walks out with the North American Championship, and NXT goes off the air. Really good show tonight, man. Capped by a great main event, but next week is going to be the show that we all need to see, man. This is going to be on the Black Ciampa title change night type of nights to watch NXT. I can't fucking wait, man. That steel cage match should be a classic. NXT wants to put another notch on the best of 2018 for matches in WWE, man. No doubt in my mind that Johnny Gargano and Aleister Black are going to tear Full Sail down inside that steel cage. Big week with that steel cage match. The Horsewomen making their in-ring debut at Full Sail against Io Shirai and Dakota Kai. And we got Dominik Dijakovic making his NXT in-ring debut under this new persona that WWE has been portraying him with for the last 3 weeks, man. Should be a big week. I'll be right here covering it and any other NXT news right here on the podcast, man. Sorry I'm a little all over the place today and stuttering here and there, man. I have, right now, I don't even know how I recorded this, and I wasn't going to record it. I have a huge thumping headache, and I'm out of aspirin. I went to go grab aspirin before I actually sat down and recorded this, and I have no aspirin. I have to take a run to the drugstore. Don't really feel all that well. I'm very sleep deprived. I have a huge weekend coming up. I recorded off the script already for Friday, and then tomorrow I'm going to do Saturday show because I have to get ready for the House of Glory show on Saturday night, and I'm not going to have any time this weekend with TLC. So I have to get everything done in a timely manner, and I have to speed it up by a day, and I worked myself to death today. So if I felt a little off, or I seemed a little off today in my NXT review, stuttering here and not really coming up with thoughts quick enough, that's why, man. I'm very, very sleep deprived, and I'm very exhausted, and I just want to rest. I want to rest, man, before the big weekend coming up. But I hope to see you guys at the House of Glory show. I hope to see you guys down in the comment section, leaving your thoughts on NXT tonight. Leave a thumbs up. I hope to see you guys tune in for Off the Script on Friday. We're going to talk about the big WrestleMania news coming out of the proposed plans going on right now with WrestleMania. Lots of matches penciled in. We're going to go over all of that, plus my thoughts on the fifth worst, or the fifth time that WWE broke the Raw ratings record. Worst record of all time this year. And anything else that we talk about, man. And Saturday, we're going to do the preview predictions for the TLC pay-per-view, man. Hit that thumbs up down below, and I will see you all next week right here with the Steel Cage match, Johnny Gargano and Aleister Black right here on NXT, man. Until then, take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some Black Ops 4, and then Friday for Off the Script. I'll talk to you guys later.